Coming up on this episode of Free Lunch. Do you think a marriage is more work?
More work than your...
what?
Or than let's say, just a monogamous relationship?
A monogamous is
Me personally, I don't think it's more or less work because it's just a piece of paper that makes one different from the other. Dudes get left out of the equation, but men need to feel just as safe.
This is the first time I ever heard someone say safe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that's what that feeling is?
Yeah. But I think that's the issue for a lot of men is that we also don't know how to articulate a lot of the emotions that we're processing. So it comes out a different word.
Yeah. Man,
that might be...
He was like, I ain't mean it, but like,
yeah,
I'm trying to let you know. I think we all need companionship, but like, be able to enjoy your own company. Like, be able to like enjoy yourself by yourself.
The world going on the inside of me is actually what's controlling what's happening on the outside.
Cheers, bro.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Freestyle Gospel, a.k.a. The Real Free, with another episode of Free Lunch. And I have, remember that other guy I brought in here, the roommate who I like never spoke to like for the first 2 years? Well, I eventually got him to bring his roommate in, which I spoke to a little bit more, maybe because he presented approachable maybe. This other guy Q that I had, he was like the silent those guys with full beards, I'm leery of them.
The beard hate continues.
I'm leery of those guys. But these are both my neighbors that live above me, and really, really talented, awesome people behind the scenes. And I thought it'd be cool to have them on the show together and introduce you guys to them. So without any further ado, reintroducing Q or Marquel, and you better pronounce it correctly.
Marquel.
And Marquel's roommate,
all right, let's see
Ibrahim. All right.
Oh, he's there. All right.
Awesome.
I mean, he was right though. You got to say it right.
You got to say
You
it
have
right.
to say it right.
We both have unique names that people love to mispronounce.
Just butcher.
It's a sad story. For 31 years, my family doesn't even say my name right.
That's not true.
That's not.
My aunt
That's
be
not
like,
They
okay.
cannot be your
This is
family.
also her voice. She's like, Ibrahim. I'll be like, auntie, you know what? And my grandmother, Ibrahim. I'm like, it's, you know what?
So it's,
if you are who you are, I'm just let you have it, grandma. You grandma, go ahead.
so it is Ibrahim.
It is Ibrahim, yeah.
And you have relatives, family members who don't say it correctly.
Bro.
That's
Terrible.
Not acceptable.
It's horrible.
Not acceptable.
Well, I asked Q before when he came on the show if he had friends that don't know how to pronounce Marquel properly, or if that's kind of a prerequisite. A prerequisite. Had to take my time with that.
There
one.
we go.
I can't be the wordsmith and not be able to do that. If it was a prerequisite for his friends to be able to say his full name.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, well, if they happen to show up at the barbecue and don't get it right, then they're dismissed.
No place to go.
There's definitely no...
Skip the aluminum foil in the ShopRite bags.
In mid-conversation, they're like, oh, Marquel, can you... Oh, wait.
Nah.
Mark, can you say it with me one more time?
Now, is it with... When I was trying to get the podcast episode description ready for the one you and I did,
right?
I meant to ask you, is it with one L or two L's? One. See? So I got that right.
That would have kind of been cool, though.
No, that would have been too much. Less is more. You have to.
Less is more.
You gotta be careful because he's already got like this.
I'm a flashy guy.
Marquel would have made it very
fancy.
fancy.
I got a thing for the flair.
He's already got this like capital Q happening in the middle of his name. It's not maybe visibly, but it's like
it's present.
Audibly, it's present.
Marquel.
There we go. I think they should have did that when they named me.
Hey, like a little apostrophe.
Yeah, something.
Like, little spizzazz.
A little bit.
So I thought for this episode, I had some like questions from the audience following on my Facebook page. And so we'll like kind of like skim through some of these like, topic stuff that they wanted us to talk about. Not wanted us particularly, but just wanted me to talk about on the podcast.
They don't give a crap about us, Mark.
Yeah.
It's not for you, it's for me.
Yeah. They don't know who you guys are. So let's see. What we got here? gender roles in relationships, are they important? That's one. And then we have let's see, financially wealthy, keeping up with the Joneses, is it worth it?
Heck yeah.
Let me see. He said, "Heck yeah, it's worth it."
Is it worth it?
Importance of being your importance of being your own individual self, and while in a relationship.
Ooh,
That's a good
I
topic.
think I like
that's
that
a good one. That's a
That's
great
a good
one.
topic.
And then the last one was like being married, dealing with in-laws, but you guys are not married.
Nah.
Nope.
Yeah,
I think that the one before that was actually a good one for you to talk about because
So I think
you
we're
are
gonna-
very,
I'm
very individualistic.
I'm
like,
night and day
person.
with my wife. Yeah.
And so, like, as a union, like, I mean, I've never had a really successful relationship.
No, but I think
it,
But I think that particular topic is one that's relevant for any relationship,
absolutely.
whether you're married, whether you're dating, or even familial relationships with family. The importance of being yourself. Wow.
That's a good one.
Importance of being your own.
Can I take that
individual
topic?
self. I mean,
From my home? Nah, I'm not gonna do that to you. That's
that's
fire.
fine. Look. There's an abundance for everyone. Please. Yeah, trust me. I guarantee you, there's
lane
a
is
million
big enough.
other podcasts that have also used this topic.
Probably.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have in like the description here of this episode, Marquell's podcast, so you guys can all find it and go follow him and tune in. Hopefully, you guys would go follow and tune in and enjoy all the awesome stuff happening over there.
We would hope.
Name of the podcast?
Our podcast.
Our podcast.
That's right.
Our pod.
Less is more. I love it. I love it. Unbeknownst to Marquell, he didn't know there's like literally 200 other podcasts called Our Podcast.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait, there is?
We
There
went
is,
through it.
really.
We was looking at it.
We went to go look it up, and he's like, how come I don't see my podcast?
Bro, I legit have to rebrand myself as an artist because Ibrahim is such a familiar name.
It's a very-
So I'm doing a whole rebranding this year.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Hold up, but that was actually your artist name?
Ibrahim, yeah.
Ibrahim.
So for a long time, I didn't
That was-
like saying it because people mispronounce it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, but someone was just like, yo, your name is unique, use it. So I was like, yeah. And then when I put,
they
when I
lied.
sent people out
They
there, they're
lied.
like, yeah, Ibrahim. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
yo.
lied.
I'm like, you can't even find me.
They totally
So
lied to you.
I came up with a new name and a new, so we're gonna release that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lied to you.
Yeah, they did. So unique.
You should have consulted your big bro, the real Frii.
I should have.
Absolutely.
So do we get actual lunch here though, Frii?
No, you don't get lunch. So it's a free lunch. Free. No, listen. Look, free lunch is meant to be a metaphor for the podcast and the topics we discuss being free food for the soul.
Okay.
So how lunch
edible.
how lunch edifies the body.
Okay.
Man
should not eat on
live
bread.
bread alone.
There we go,
Man.
bro.
Like, see,
There
like
we
this
go.
guy, Marquell gets it. I don't know if I can have you on the show, even if you don't get it.
Yo,
Like,
first off, y'all both Bible readers. Like, so y'all be
Okay.
tuned in on,
Hey.
y'all got the Bible sitting on.
but it would be a big help for you, right, Eve?
Which is what?
You could also become a Bible reader
That's why
yourself.
So we talked about this yesterday. He was like, yo, I'm gonna get in, whenever I have my, my Bible readings, are you down? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Because I'm not very religious. I was raised Muslim, but I'm not really religious.
My father's Muslim, by the way.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
I
I actually speak Arabic.
Is he in this? This?
No, not in this area.
Okay.
because he's like, I might know him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I know.
But I actually know some Arabic.
Okay,
Yeah.
brother man. Like no other man.
But what's interesting to your point when you said, I don't like really like read the Bible, or I'm not really like religious. Something occurred to me, and it was, I think not even that you feel this way, but some people may think this way, and I think this is important to like state to help people kind of get over this quote unquote hump, or maybe whatever is like stopping them from daring to just peek in the book, right? I think people think reading it, there's some compulsory mechanism or burden they'll feel in being a practitioner. Being, you can be a reader of something and
absolutely.
not a practitioner, but I think there's like this looming indescribable, maybe behind the scenes. Not for you. I'm just saying for people that they feel this worry. Like myself, I'm a practicing Christian. I've since I was a little kid, raised that way. But also since I was a little kid, my mom was Christian. I was raised. My father was Muslim. So I grew up with a very high regard and respect for really all belief systems. So in my very broad library of books and things, I have the Quran there as well.
Word.
Because again, I don't have that worry, you know what I mean? So I think it'd be, not to get off topic or veer off too far, but I think it would be very good.
I agree. I told him I'll be down next time he
if
cracks it open.
If for no other reason, for you to simply just be able to get it when you come on the show here.
Oh.
That's gonna be the first scripture.
That's it.
Man should not eat on bread alone.
Every episode with Ibrahim's gonna start with a memory Bible verse. Have you remembered your verse?
Yeah, right.
Your memory verse for this week? Oh man.
Though I walk through the shadow of
don't butcher it. It's okay.
It's all right.
It's all right. You don't have to do that. You don't have to. You don't have to.
You don't.
It's so hard.
It's okay. We made it clear. We made it very clear that you didn't read, so you didn't have to like.
This is not a compulsory thing. You don't have. We welcome all people of all different educational levels.
Oh, not the education.
Dang, you ain't even give him no smoke and he came for your head.
Of all Bible education levels.
Issues right now, bro. I have smoke inhalation right now.
No, but yeah. So back to our topic of choice today. Right. So the importance of being your individual self while in a relationship. Now, I think the context in which the followers on the Facebook page posed the question, I think they meant it in the context of marriage, maybe per se, but because I believe this person in particular was married. But this is also very good, I think, edifying for the soul of a topic to discuss for those who are not married, just in long-term relationship, monogamous relationships, and they maybe one day hope to be married. I mean, I know that both of you are not married, but is that something that you guys aspire to one day be married?
Be married?
Yeah. Like, is that an idea that you're open to? I know a lot of people are not.
I know for sure, yes.
I'm open to it.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
I'm open to it.
Yeah. You don't have like a direct opposition towards like, I'm like,
that ain't for me.
That ain't for me.
No.
Yeah. Because there's people out there that are like that. Like, marriage is not for me. Like, no. They've had maybe a bad upbringing or trauma.
Yeah. That
comes from
stuck
that.
in that, like, going towards that.
But were you guys raised in homes where you had like your parents were married?
Absolutely
or
not.
No, neither one of you.
No.
Wow.
No. You know what's crazy though? A lot of people that are married that I know tell me not to get married.
Yo, facts.
Are you
I
serious?
kid you not.
A lot of people who are married.
97%
That's
of the people that tell me be like,
unfortunate.
don't do it. Don't do it. And I'd be like, dang.
But I think those are also. I think sometimes there's also individuals who wind up going into marriage like, I don't know if wrong is the word to use, but like, oh, I got kids with this woman, I might as well.
Get married for all the wrong reasons.
Like, like, or I've been with her for so long, I might as well get married. Like, instead of like, like this person makes me the best person I have been since I met them. Let me take this journey with them and continue to be the best person I can be. Instead of like these reasons. So I think that might be the reason why some of these folks say like, oh, like don't get married, because they jumped into it for the wrong reasons, or maybe I don't know.
That's very sad.
Or they didn't jump into it for the right reasons.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be like some type of foundation, some type of like.
But I always find it like interesting too. I mean, not that I'm opposed against it. I think it's great that this happens. But those of us who are not raised in, because I wasn't either. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as when I was born, my mom was 15, my dad was 16. They actually broke up when I was born. So. But it's interesting for people who are not raised in a married household to grow up and aspire to be married. So, like I would think, in so many other contexts of life or relationships, right? Usually, when you don't experience something, you don't necessarily grow up diabolically opposed to it, but you grow up indifferent many times.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. I think it's really awesome of a thing for someone to grow up without having seen that and desire it still for themselves.
Yeah.
I
You
think
know?
that's interesting because I think that, yes, we don't see it in our own homes, but like we see it everywhere else. So like you'll see
That's
it on
true.
TV, you'll see it,
Yes.
and they glorify it like, oh,
Yeah,
marriage is man
At
and
least, well,
woman.
maybe when we were growing
X, Y,
up, but
Z.
definitely not now.
Nah.
TV
They be
is-
like, yo, it's work.
Nah, TV is all about the single life now, and reality TV shows make
Yeah.
marriage look out to be just drama and yeah.
Yeah, it ain't the same.
All I
Yeah.
know is it's work, and I think before I get to that point,
How do you know it's work, Eve?
because a relationship is work. So I know a marriage gotta be work.
100%.
It's work. Everything in life is work.
Facts.
You get up in the morning, you gotta do the things that you don't want to do, right?
Yeah.
Because it's work. Everything's work. So
Facts.
everything takes a certain amount of effort to make sure you accomplish a goal. To get to succeed, you gotta put in
Yeah.
work. So if you want a successful marriage, you want to be successful in your career, everything
Yeah.
requires work.
Do you think a marriage is more work? I'm sorry, I'm doing
Do you think a marriage is more work,
more work
More
than
work
your.
than what?
or than a let's say just a monogamous relationship?
A monogamous is I think
Me personally, I don't think it's more or less work because it's just a piece of paper that makes one different from the other.
this is true.
I would imagine if you're in a relationship with someone, a serious relationship is going to require just the amount of work as a marriage. I think people, you know what? I think people who end up being in a relationship, like who don't get married but stay dating a person for like years,
Yeah.
I think those people think something's going to be different
Change.
when they get married.
Right.
Like they're afraid of getting married because they think when they get married, the piece of paper is going to suddenly make the relationship harder. But I think it's the same. Obviously, people do get married, and for whatever reason, the piece of paper makes them start to act differently. That is a thing that I've seen or heard about. I haven't experienced it, but yeah, that does happen. So Eve, is it safe to say you said you're open like to this idea of like marriage, right?
I'm open to it. Yeah.
And kind of pulling in our topic to bring it to center, the importance of being your individual self in a relationship. Do you think that has historically been a major concern for you, like something that you felt was threatened ever in your relationships?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Let me actually be more specific. Would you say it was so? It was a thing that was like important to you. It was a thing that was like on your mind during those like past relationships, right? Do you think it rose to the degree where it was actually became the thing that made any of your past relationships end?
I can say it played a big part. I don't think I've fully come to the point where I completely know myself in my entirety. So
That's fire, by the way. Let me just let the audience know that that's an entire bar. Like that's fire for you to even be able to self-assess and state that.
appreciate
And be true to yourself with that fact, because I think there are many people who have issues with themselves or in relationships because of that very thing you just stated out your mouth, because they're still discovering who they are, but they're too afraid or not in tune with themselves to even admit that.
Yeah, I'm.
So that's huge.
I got some. Yeah, my
That's
last
huge.
relationship opened some eyes. Opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Nah, that's huge.
That's facts. There needs to be a certain level of like understanding. I mean, you'll always keep learning things about yourself. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's got to
there
be
needs
like a
the foundation
baseline,
Yeah, there
like
needs to
of
be,
self-awareness.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have your goals, your mind.
Q,
right,
what
gotta
about
know
you?
want.
Is that like a thing for the historically relationships that you've like had, like where it was something that was threatened, you being able to be your individual self, or something you were worried about at all?
Honestly, man, I used to just go with the flow. So like, I didn't until recently. Like, I didn't start understanding the importance of like just being an individual, and then like being in a relationship and being an individual. So like, I would get lost in a relationship get lost with the girl, X, Y, and Z.
yeah.
So like, I think, I don't know. There's a level. I mean, you gotta have a foundation, like we were saying. Like you gotta know yourself. You gotta have things going for you. You have to have your own life outside of that relationship. Because if you get lost in a relationship, because I like way back when I was in a relationship, and like you lose yourself being in a relationship, and you forget who you are once you get out of it, and like you got to start like rediscovering the things you like to do. Like I saw something that was like fall in love with being alone with yourself or something along those lines. It's like how I think we all need companionship, but like be able to enjoy your own company, like be able to like enjoy yourself by yourself. That's like freeing, because then you don't need anybody. And then when you get into a relationship, you can just, it's a plus, it's an add-on, it's the cherry on the top. So you get to enjoy life with that person. But what do I know, man? I'm still, 30 years old, young.
Nah,
learning,
man. Nah,
trying to-
that's facts, man. Those are really, really not just facts, tough facts for people to come to grips with. Because you have like that's at least the spirit of when you're entering adolescence, like that teenage stage, you're in high school and going into college. It's like you can really get caught up in this idea, like, I kind of know it all, I'm the man. And you actually
Don't know.
you really don't know what's happening on the inside of you.
Right.
You might know a lot of things outside of you, but you only later come into the wisdom and understanding how really knowing everything on the outside of you really wasn't it. That wasn't that was never the goal.
Right.
Or at least not a goal worth trying to aspire to or reach. The goal you later find out as you get older. You get through your 20s, you approach 30, beyond 30, you start to realize how much the world going on the inside of me is actually what's controlling what's happening on the outside.
Bring me to church, bro.
You know?
Come on. I'm serious, man. You talking that.
Hey,
Come on, bro.
That's a snack right there.
Right?
That's a snack right
You know what I'm
there.
saying? What
Son
was it?
for
Man should not. What up for bread alone? What? Come on, man.
he said,
That's some bread right there.
yo, poor Eve, man. He's still trying. He's like,
Wait, what did he just say?
he said something about that bread alone. Listen, with so many, Eve, look at low key, Eve wants to be a part of a Bible study. Anybody out there who's listening to this episode, I need you to go into the description and tap on the link leading you to Eve's Instagram, because I'm going to put it there. And I need you to DM him the next available Bible study.
Yo.
No, but that's real talk. I mean, you need to know yourself. You need to be able to enjoy time alone with yourself. Which oddly makes me think of something else. Like, so Eve, before we went on air, you had mentioned, this being a good topic because, just a little bit about me and my wife's dynamic, how we're very like two different like worlds, right? My wife, who's like a social worker, like she's got 2 degrees, really, really like, business, professional oriented. And like, she then marries this guy, like with 3 kids, living in his mom's basement after divorce, who's like, this rapper, poet, kind of thing, trying to make it. We are really, really in a lot of ways night and day. But I think if I had to be honest, one of the things that allow us to work is she gives way to me in my individuality and I her.
That's dope.
Like being able to be her, like she's told me certain things that I see her do like all the time in our relationship and has blown me away when like, early, like we've been married 5 years now. So maybe like in like the first 2 years, I'd see her like do something that she does all the time. And then she'd blow me away when she would say something like, but I never did this with any of my other relationships. Like, and she's been like engaged before. Like she's had long, term relationships. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like the way I see you do this thing, like how much you do this, it's you. Yeah. Like for you to tell me that, and she would say that about several things. I'm like, how much were you actually able to be you than in these other relationships.
So
Like,
you guys allow each other to be yourselves.
like she told, like the way she can be, like just let her hair down and be silly and goofy. Like people think I'm a trip, like I'm goofy. I can't hold a candlestick to my wife. And like when like I've always in all of my relationships I've been like the funny guy, the funny person, the just act a fool. I like going to school growing up. I was the class clown. Like I was that guy. It wasn't until I met my wife where it was the first time me having a relationship with anybody, even like just a friend, let alone an intimate relationship. And I was like, all right, babe, I need you to calm down. Like, chill. Like, and I was always used to being on the receiving end of that. Yeah. Like, I'm so used to me being on 100 and like somebody be like, all right, Chris, you need to chill. But I'd be like, all right, babe, like, it's just too much. Like, you bugging right now. Mm-hmm. But she's a goofball. And I love what ends up giving me more capacity and room for her to just be her and just be like, I've learned now at year 5 when she's being like OD, goofy and silly and maybe I'm not in the mood, I've learned where I get more capacity to give her space to be like that comes from the thought that jumps in my mind and say, my wife is 33 this year. She turns 33. In her 33 years of being alive, Chris, and doing relationships, you are the first time she's been able to be her. Mm. And when I think of that thought, in my head, it goes, I gotta let her get this out.
You regarding her humanity, her humanity.
Like, you've been bottle capped from, I gotta let you breathe. Mm. So when I might be thinking in my head, hey, we've been married for 5 years, that should be enough. Like, all right, it's time to die. No, I have to actually think back and go, no, but for 20-something years, you've been bottle capped. You are finally stretching your limbs and being who you are. And then when I think of that, I'm like, wow, man, that's beautiful. Let me let wifey just live, man. Let me, whatever I might be like, because I might have had a rough day at work or at the job and I'm coming home and I'm just heavy and you know how it could be sometimes. So normally, I might be cracking up, I might be joking and I'm just feeling heavy from the day, not even anything to do with you. But then I'm reminded of that and I just smile comes over my face and I'm just like, babe, you just let bae be bae.
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
How long, from maybe your previous marriage or this marriage, did you learn how to process that feeling of being heavy and not transferring or not even just transferring or just being distant in that moment? Because I find that to be something that's difficult for me when I was in a relationship. Is like, learning how to like, all right, cool, like, like kind of like leave it at the door. Leave it at the door thing. Is it like, all right, let me process this. Is it a fast processing thing for you, or like, what is that?
Well, I think, you know what I would dare to say, and this is probably an unpopular opinion. I would probably dare to say it might actually be unhealthy for you to leave it at the door.
Because you need to talk it out or like work through it.
I think people go towards trying to discover a way to do that because the other alternative, which is bring it in the door and process with the other person you're doing a relationship or doing life with, is harder. Mm-hmm. And because that's harder and more work, what do? As humans, we want to go
at the door.
We want to try to travel the
easy route,
path of least resistance,
of course,
right? But I think how I've managed that, how me and my wife present day manage that is by not leaving it at the door. Bring it right on in, like we bring everything else in, and in process, because you might need to be left alone, right? But if you attempt to leave it at the door, it's still on the inside of you somewhere. You now come and bring yourself through the door, and now you're just non-verbally showing that something is there bothering you. So you're separate or whatever. We got Q. He almost fell out of his seat over here, guys.
I was trying to not laugh.
He almost fell over here.
Oh goodness,
bro.
But you end up showing the person in some nonverbal way that something's there bothering anyways. So you might as well learn how to talk through it. And then when you talk through it, I think people are afraid then if I do that, then that means I won't be able to get the time to be alone. I need, right? But what actually me and my wife do is we actually communicate that.
Okay.
Or we get better at doing it. 5 years in, now I can come in the house, bring that thing through the threshold of the door and just be like, you know what, babe, I'm like just really, really beat today. Like, I'm really, really aggravated. And I don't even think past that. I think when a person cares about you in a relationship and you give them just that piece, like I'm really aggravated.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to want to push the envelope and when you're aggravated, but you have to voice that. Be bold enough, at least safe enough. That's a key word. Feel safe enough in your relationship where I could say that to you, and that doesn't make you instantly become defensive.
Safe enough.
So I feel safe enough to tell my wife, hey, I'm just real aggravated today. And she'll sometimes, if she's kind of like Lori about who I'm aggravated with, like if it's her, she'll just come out and follow up and say, is it me? And I'll go, oh, nah, man, it's not you. And she trusts me. And she'll just leave it at that and, quietly turn out of the bedroom, walk away and let me have my moment, my time. And then she knows shortly after that, sometime an hour or so, sometimes a couple hours, I'm back to my normal self and, I'm good.
Okay.
But you got to feel safe.
That's big,
I
though.
appreciate that bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to feel safe.
I think that's in general what the topic we're talking about. You got to be feel safe enough to be your individual self. Like to be able to just feel free with whoever it is that you're with. And if you're not able to feel free, then that's when I don't know, the problems start, man.
Well, I think people also, I think are worried about if elements of being their individual self can be misconstrued as being selfish. And people get that messed up. But me being, because what if we defined in a practical way, what does that look like? So if I say, okay, I want you to be confident and able to be your individual self in a relationship, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So it's just not some abstract idea. What does that mean? It means I still go do the things that maybe I like to do right before I met you, whoever that person is in your life. Maybe, I still, watch the same things I watch, eat the same things I like to eat or enjoy, activities, things like that. What are some other elements of being your individual self? Your characteristic trait, like being funny or, if you're silly, like my wife, right? She wasn't able to be her individual self as far as being silly before. What are some of those things for you guys? What are some elements of your individual selves that you would like to hold on to no matter what relationship you're in?
I like my alone time.
Actually, before me and my wife got married, I literally, in our dating period, I said to her early on, I said, are you someone who can tolerate comfortable silence? And I don't know if she gave me an answer right away or if she asked me to explain that or what that was, but I said, I'm a person who loves comfortable silence. And what that is I could be sitting in the company of, the person I'm, in the relationship with and just be silent without the other person assuming something's wrong.
Yeah.
I just, I grew up the first, child developmental years of my life, 3-4 years, I was the only child. So those developmental brain years, I learned how to entertain myself, be left to my thoughts. I had a lot of quiet, there wasn't another sibling making noise, right? So as I continued to develop and grew up, I was like that kid that could be in a whole nother room by myself, drawing, sketching, and just being in silence. So as a adult man, when I, started to have, intimate relationships or things like that, I wasn't able to find that. People always thought, what's wrong with you? Or what? Because I would be, on such a 10 or, the funny guy or whatever. And then they would wonder, how could I switch gears? And then now you're just sitting over here quiet is because, well, sometimes I like to just be to my thoughts. It's not that I'm mad. It's not like something happened. You didn't do anything. And my wife has been able to learn more and more to be able to give me that. And know, and she'll just, again, if she's lurid or whatever, she can just ask, hey, babe, you good? And I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm good, babe. I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, all right, cool.
I don't think I found that either. Because, like you, I'll be up here all the time. So because I'm high energy, there's a time where I have to recharge. And my recharge sometimes is like I go a week and a half, 2 weeks sometimes not talking to nobody. And I be to myself, like, you know, I come in like we both have a moment. So I come in like, yo, what up? And then just dip off, like I'm just chill.
That's right.
You know, but like, but that I know, like in a relationship, like a week with no communication is crazy. You know what I mean? So like, I also have to know like the compromise if I do want to get into a relationship. Kind of compromising what my like. See, that's the thing about individuality, right? Like, if I'm used to going a week or sometimes 2, not talking to anybody, like that's got to be a compromise, all right? Or do I keep that individuality?
Well, see, I would say that's a discussion.
That is a discussion,
right? It's because it's not a broad answer automatically for anybody. Like, okay, you have to, because the social norm, society is going to say, no, you need to give that up. But no, you might actually meet the right individual who has a capacity for that, and go, no, take your week, honey. If you need that's my bae, that's my husband. He sometimes needs that. He's not angry at me. We don't have an issue in our marriage. He's not cheating on me. That's why he recharges at this time period, and it might be very abnormal for someone else's relationship looking at yours from a distance. And that's the thing we have to be careful of too, is right? We have a lot of relationships, I think, where you both in the relationship are giving way to one another in your own unique way, and someone gets in either her ear or your ear and convince you the way you do your relationship, that's wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Which I do. And now they got your girl thinking and going, you know what? Maybe this is wrong. Now what was cool with you guys, was okay.
No longer
she like, no, listen, Eve, you know what? You a couple days, you go on a couple days and me not hearing from you, not talking, you know what? You need to change. You like, we was good.
It was all good just a week ago.
It's all good.
It's a lot of bread being thrown around over here, man. It's a lot of bread in this room right now.
Yo, I love it. Absolutely,
that was a good topic.
Man.
That was a good prompt right there.
It's I think it's for men especially, because we brought out the safe part, right?
Yeah.
I think the idea of feeling safe enough in your relationship for anything, but particularly we're talking about feeling safe enough to be your individual. So I think when we talk about safety, we only think of like females.
Yo,
women, we got to make sure females feel safe in a relationship.
That's a whole nother topic.
And the dudes get left out of the equation, but men need to feel just as safe.
This is the first time I ever heard someone say safe. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, that's what that feeling is? Yeah. Like, there's a word. There's a word for that feeling. Yeah. And I appreciate you saying that.
But I think that's the issue for a lot of men, is that we also don't know how to articulate a lot of the emotions that we're processing. So it comes out a different word.
Yeah. Man,
that might be.
He was like, I ain't mean it, but like, I'm trying to let you know what I'm feeling, but like,
I
get confused sometimes.
You got shorty spaz are like, what did you say?
Oh my God.
But what you might be meaning is, I don't feel safe. I'm trying to feel emotionally safe.
Express myself. I don't feel.
You got to.
Yeah.
Man,
that's a good one.
That's facts, man.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one.
Would you say, Eve, what's the longest relationship that you have had?
I have about 2 years on and off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Q?
Around same. Yeah.
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 Are either of you in a relationship now?
No.
Hey, look, look. Hey, 70% of my followers are females. All right, so they, if y'all, if y'all getting DMs,
man, stay away from me, all of y'all, please.
Wow.
Do not add me. My page is private for.
Just don't bother.
Just leave us alone, man.
Why would you say that?
Leave us alone.
I'm not ready.
I can respect that.
I'm not ready for a relationship.
Give this man a haircut, man.
I'm not ready for a relationship. And then I'm not gonna lie. Like, do I go? I have my fun. But it also. If you go deep into like the soul ties, or or like there's emotions always happen, and then it always turns out bad because this and that, and so like just stay away.
So what?
I'm straight.
You said I'm straight, but
I'm straight.
But E, what is it? You say you're not ready. For you, have you identified what it is that you're waiting for or need to become ready? Or you just going with the flow? Like,
no, I'm actually giving myself. I wanna make sure I'm processing. I want to give myself a year of consecutive therapy before I did go into a relationship.
Wow. I dig it.
I did it for a while before, and I stopped.
Yeah.
And I want to get back into it because I understand that there is a level
of self-awareness.
There's a level of
That's
self-awareness
fire.
that I need,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
need to also be able to articulate my emotions because I get
Yes.
very choked up, and
Yeah.
then I get closed off, and that's where a lot of the disconnect is for me and
Respect
personally
it.
in my relationships. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with you, Q?
What's good with me?
Are you like trying to with a certain defined time, like not really?
Nah, not at
having
all.
to- you're not.
Not at
You're
all.
not waiting for some more self-awareness development or anything.
I am. That is my journey right now. So,
But are you ready? It's
no,
for a relationship.
No, absolutely not. I'm straight.
Okay, but that's two different things.
I'm good.
Somebody saying I'm not ready and then I'm straight. To me, that sounds like two
I
different
am
things.
not ready, and I'm straight.
And
My boy healing right now. Be honest, my
Thank
boy
you, man.
healing right now.
I am healing
He's
right
healing
now.
right now. You know
I'm
what I'm
healing
saying?
right now.
Okay.
So like, I'm just
Well-
getting out of like a relationship.
that was tough.
It was
pretty
tough. It was
Okay.
pretty tough. So like,
All right,
I'm kind of like hands off with it.
I can respect that.
You know, after you like go through like relationships and you're like, so my therapist told me like, she was real blunt with me. She was like, you telling me about all these relationships, it ain't got nothing to do with them, it's you. I was like,
So you guys are both in therapy?
I legit am going to Fairhaven Health Clinic after this to go schedule an appointment. Actually,
That's fire.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fire.
And he's in therapy though.
That's I think that's so dope. It was one of the dopest things, the most beneficial things to me that I could have ever done coming out of as my first marriage was ending and as I was transitioning into being by myself and then entering my present marriage, of which we still, we have now just marriage, therapy that we have for probably like the last 2 years and change. Like,
that's fire.
That's dope.
and it's I think it's one of those other like stigmas in the black community
absolutely.
against therapy. But I
We're
felt-
shaking it though. We
we
are
are
shaking it.
we're making
headway.
some headway for sure. But it's been really, really dope. It was one of the first times I ever heard this idea about there being a difference between being selfish and having self-interest.
Ooh.
And that was so freeing for me. It's because I was so afraid of really developing and working on the broken pieces of me and giving time to those pieces to be healed, because I felt like that would be me being selfish. Because I love this person so much. I love them. I love my kids. I got my kids. And then it took a light bulb go off, this revelatory moment for me to realize, you know what? Those people that you claim to love and care about, that you're so afraid you're going to be selfish or they're going to be hurt somehow by you developing yourself, guess what? The best thing you could ever do for anyone else is love yourself.
Yo, hit the whatever button you got right there for something. There we go. We go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys are pursuing that, you guys are already positioning yourselves, in my opinion, to be the best versions of yourselves for
people.
anybody else.
Absolutely.
For any woman down the road, and that's for all relationships, for any woman, for you guys' relationships as roommates, for family, like the best thing Ebe could do for me is love himself. That's gonna make Ebe a really, really much cooler dude.
Have me tear up in here, bro.
You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah,
man.
that's gonna make
Tear
you
up in here, bro.
a really cool dude. Like, but that's, again, I've said it on the show already. The audience has heard this more than one time. Hurt people hurt people.
Facts.
True. This is
So
very true.
so if I could get Q to work on being less hurt on the inside, all the broken parts of him being taken care of, I don't have to worry about him hurting me
Right.
as a neighbor, as his homeboy, as a friend, as a girlfriend, as a less fear to worry about that, because I know you're taking care of yourself. That's really, really huge, man. I think you guys, there need to be a lot more young black men like you guys being, I think, forthcoming and being able to be bold enough to be transparent, even with, that kind of self-development, having therapy. I think you guys are going to free or help a lot of people hearing this episode. That's just fire. I don't get it. I don't get to hear it.
Word.
That's fire.
That's odd. It's weird that like a lot of like black men don't go to like you don't hear about a lot of black men going to
Yeah, if it's
therapy.
anybody who needs
I feel like it should be so normal. It's like it's the
Yeah.
easiest thing to do to sit there and just talk to somebody.
Well,
I mean-
I wouldn't say it's easy.
Because I mean, the only thing that I think is tricky
It's
when
freeing.
telling people about therapy is that it sometimes takes time to find the right therapist.
That's true.
And that can become drooling, or you
Yeah.
know, because
That's true.
I went to
True.
one time and someone suggested, I was like, she ain't. I'm like, is this supposed to feel like I don't know, like some don't feel right, and I stopped. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, but I really need this. Let me go to a different one, and I found them like, and it's actually this white Mexican American dude or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, maybe I need a black one, but he keep it 100 with me, and I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it. Like he's able to like really like bring out the things that
But
I
I
need
think
to be brought
I think
out,
what's
you know?
interesting too is that you have to that process is way more seamless, I think, when you're ready for therapy.
Yeah.
Like you have to also get to that point. Like therapy is not this, all powerful thing where it's going to usurp your, free will or your desire or what you're not capable of in that brokenness, or, like you have to be ready. You know what I mean? It's not just going to be like this like magic wand, like, and then, and then that's what happens. You have people who have a bad experience and they blame it, sometimes all on the therapist. Like you're a horrible therapist, but it could just be that like you weren't actually ready to hear because you
Well,
say your therapist, they keeping it a buck with you.
Yeah.
No, so now Ibrahim could like storm out and be like, yo, I can't stand this therapist. Yo, he always like coming for me. Is he coming for you, or
is
he telling you some hard
Or he got
fact?
the mirror right up to your face.
Listen,
right up to your face.
You have to be ready.
you got to do the work.
You have to be ready.
You can go to therapy for a year. If you don't do the work, it ain't gonna help you.
That's true. Clap.
He said clap. Clap. Get this man a clap.
Get a clap.
Yo,
I thought he was about to.
facts. Yo, so on the Free Lunch podcast, like I told Q when he came through, I'll give this one to Eve. It's free food for your soul. So we like to end each episode with something that we want the audience to take away that's edifying for their soul. So given, our conversation today, and all we discussed, everything that was heard and exchanged, what's the takeaway, Eve, that you want people to leave with after hearing this episode? And I'll let you take your time.
Yeah,
meditate on
please.
that one.
There's two things that you mentioned today that stuck with me, and I'll probably stick with me for the rest of my life. And I think it's obviously we gender neutral here, but for the men, understanding with that safe, like that being able to voice, if you're safe or not, like having that space to be like, I don't feel safe enough to express myself right now, or like, or finding that person who makes you feel safe enough to be your individual self and gives you the room to be yourself and also allows you to express yourself. And I think that's what I took away today, or the biggest piece I took away from today. It was a good podcast.
Fire.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
That was definitely some good
I don't
bread.
have a follow up for that, man. I'm gonna let Eve ride us out, man. Hey, you heard it from my man. It's Ibrahim right there, man, with soon to be formerly known as Ibrahim, because he said he changed
Oh,
his
yes, sir.
He changed his whole name.
he's
Yes,
changing
sir.
his stripper pole name. I'm just joking. No, but actually, you know what? That you didn't even get to talk to the people about like some of like the really really cool things you do. He's like an artist, like
Oh
whole
yeah,
freaking
I
artist right here.
I'm a singer / musician. I play the guitar.
Yeah, man.
I guess you can follow me.
We
on
just like
Instagram.
jumped right into the show. We didn't
Yeah,
even
it
afford
was-
you like the intro that
I
Carl
mean,
got.
it was good.
I got an intro?
Yeah, like on the first episode. Like
I don't
when did
remember.
Nah, you did. Like
I don't
they got some
remember.
background on this guy.
I also just got into the Fire Academy, so
Yes.
you're soon to be.
Don't say where though, because
Yeah. Oh, trust me.
Yeah, I don't want
already
you to be
know.
fired.
No, soon to be a fireman, which is one of the most prestigious and honorable things I could have done with my life to really give me a purpose
Yes.
to give back, and that's something that I'm really proud of.
That's fire.
One of the
man.
most such a big thing I'm proud of right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and also giving it up to Frii because he he was a person who helped me out in
Yeah,
this journey because he was, he vouched for me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. I swore to leave out all the drugs and women late night. I didn't tell anybody that stuff. So he got in. So he's able to get in.
I left out that part too.
Yo,
But I'm really proud of you. I'm happy for you as well, man. That's really
brother.
dope. Hey, I hope this is not the last time that you brothers on the show.
Hey man, when I release my project, I'm
We're
trying
gonna
to
do the next one, man.
Listen,
We're gonna do the next one.
It shouldn't be the last time because these guys literally like sit and sleep over my head in our apartment building. But I hope I could definitely get you guys both back on the show. I'm always, like I said, I put it out there on my social media page a lot. That I'm always looking for co-hosts. So maybe if I can't have both of you, one of you, you know what I mean, could come on the show while we have another guest.
I'm around.
I mean, too. I ain't gonna lie,
honestly,
yo.
bro, you are a great conversationalist.
Yeah.
I mean, by yourself,
That's right.
it's a big something to step up to.
Well, I need the comedic relief, so you can you can provide that.
All right, yeah,
All right?
that's true.
Hey, it's Freestyle Gospel, aka The Real Free. Free lunch, free food for your soul, y'all. Peace.
Peace.